if you want to adjust how life organizes itself around you, you have to adjust the things that you're taking measurement of. You have to adjust the things that you're keeping a score of. And don't necessarily try to do anything yourself. Let the field do it for you, because the field is way more powerful than you are. What's up, guys? Welcome back. It's Charles Clark, dropping some knowledge on you. This is a video I'm pretty excited about. Also, heads up with this one. This is one very much like I'm still figuring this one out. But I feel so, I was going to stop. I was about to stop recording, but I was like, well, let me think about this a little bit. And I have to record this because I'm still kind of processing it, but as I'm understanding it, it's feeling more and more exciting to me because I'm like, oh, this is like making sense. And I just want to capture it. So like you're about to witness some of like my like very raw like processing of this information as I'm processing it. So do your best to keep up with me. I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out in all honesty, but here we go. Let's dive in. So you can't see this, but we're talking about the Heisenberg principle, right? You see that Heisenberg principle? I wrote it too high up. So what is the Heisenberg principle? The Heisenberg principle is something that I got introduced to it through David Hawkins lectures, David Hawkins material. But it's this principle that's taught within the field of quantum mechanics. And basically what it says is that it's the Heisenberg Uncertainty Principle. So when it comes to measuring particles, that we can measure where a particle is at a moment of time, and we can measure where a particle is going, like with the direction its movement and how its movement speed, its direction, etc. But the more precisely that we know of any one of those things, the less precisely we know of the other. So I'm going to say that again, and then I'm going to explain it through this diagram here. So in a particle, we can know where it is precisely in any moment of time, or we can know where it's going, like the direction that it's moving, and speed across time. The more that we know, the more precisely we know one of those things, the less precisely we can know the other. So if you imagine here that this is like a baseball. Imagine that I took a baseball and I threw the baseball. And I threw the baseball in a straight line. And you took a video of the baseball. And you paused the video, and it was shot at a really high frame rate, like 200 frames a second, super high frame rate. And so you could pause it, and you could know exactly where it was at that fraction of a second of time. In that picture, you could see it. It's right there, right? But here's the thing. In that picture, it's impossible to know what direction that the ball is heading just from the picture of the ball. You would have to, in order for you to know where it was heading, you'd have to see the pitcher. You'd have to see where he was throwing it and where he was throwing it to. But I'm not talking about seeing all that other stuff. I'm seeing you literally just see the ball in the air. It's just a ball in the air. You don't know if it was going that way or that way or that way or that way or what. You don't know. And the more, so the clearer that picture is, because if it was, so say if you took that picture at a lower frame rate, and so, so now instead of at 200 frames a second. You took the picture, you were shooting at 60 frames a second. And so it's a little bit blurry. But because it's a little bit blurry, you can see that it was heading in that, like your photo, instead of it looking like it's frozen in time, it looks kind of like it was moving through time. It's a little bit blurry, so you can kind of see it was heading in that direction. But it's less precise as to where it is in space and time at that exact moment. Okay? So the more clearly we can see where it is at any given moment in time. If we can see exactly, it is right there. It is right there. And you can see it's like it's not bleeding into any other movement in space. Then it's impossible to know which direction was heading. But if you can see a bit more of like the where it was going, then you can't know exactly where it is at any given moment, because all you're seeing is all of it. Does that make sense? You kind of get that a little bit? And so, therefore, if we take that and apply it to our regular life, this is why, according to this principle, and now it's for sure, I acknowledge, yes, this is a bit of a bridge, right? But a lot of what we're talking about is based on quantum mechanics and quantum physics. So just participate if you want. If you don't want to participate in this, you don't have to. You can click away. You can go read literally anything else. Go read about kayaking. It's interesting. Well, go kayaking. I don't know if reading about kayaking is interesting. Go look up a chef book. If you don't want to learn about this, you don't have to. But if you want to learn about this because you're curious and you're wondering if this explanation is going to help you in your own understanding of life and the law of attraction and quantum mechanics and all that, whatever, then yeah, hang out, participate. So again, the more precisely that you know exactly where a thing is at a given moment in time, the less precisely you're able to know where it was headed. And the more precisely that you know where things are headed, the less precisely you are able to know where it is at an exact moment in time. So keep score of the things you want to see more of. So if this, to apply this to regular life, you, as a representative and an observer of life within your attractor field, you're moving through space and time all the time. And it's impossible for you to know where you're really going. But if you're focused on where you're really going, that's where you can be focused on. You're focused on where you're going. But then you're not able to be as focused on where you are in the here and now. Your biggest tell is your emotional experience. So if what I have here is represents life. The black dot in the middle, I don't know how well you can see, the black dot in the middle represents you and your perception, you and your awareness. And all the different colored dots around represent different things that you could be focusing on in your life. And I'm just sticking with the previous video's emotional calibrations of like the red is going to represent things that make you feel angry or make you feel desire, make you feel lack, make you feel negatively. The green are the potential things that make you feel acceptance, and the blue are the things that make you feel joy. You could be surrounded by all these different things that make you feel acceptance. In fact, you are vastly surrounded by more things in your life that make you feel acceptance, but you don't focus on them. That's just true. And so, and then you could be focusing on more things that make you feel joy, but you're not focusing on them. And there could be even just a few things, and this is how most of us live our life, especially anybody who's like, this is actually it's just most of us. Most of us are living life a lot of the time in a lower energy state. So that's a human population and human societal evolution thing. But, gosh, and in your life, are you really walking around feeling joy all the time? before you really challenge me about it, how often are you really walking around in a state of joy and bliss? When is the last time that you expressed just appreciation and love towards the person at the other end of the microphone at the fast food place where you got your coffee in the morning? How often are you expressing joy in every area of your life? So we all do this, all right? And we all have opportunity for improvement. So you want to keep score of the things you want to see more of in your life. If you're focusing more on and you're keeping more score of the things in your life that make you feel negative, make you feel angry, make you feel lack, that's the thing you're keeping score of. That's all you see in your life. You've got all this other potential for things that you could focus on, but you're not focusing on the things that make you feel acceptance or the things that make you feel joy. You're focusing on the things that make you feel lack. And so that's what you see more of. That's all you see more of. So, and then through the Heisenberg principle, how does this attach, right? How does this connect, right? So if you're moving through space and time, you're moving. But you're taking, just imagine like every time that you are looking at something and paying attention to it, you're taking a picture of it. So if all the time you're just taking pictures of things that make you angry, that's all you're seeing. That's all you're remembering. That's all you think that your life is full of. You think, look at that thing that makes me angry. Look at that thing that makes me angry. Look at that thing that makes me angry. Look at this thing that makes me angry. Look at that thing that makes me angry. If all the time you're looking at stuff and paying attention to things that make you happy, look at that thing that makes me happy. 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 Do you get it? So if you're taking measurement, you're taking snapshots of your life as you give attention to topics and things and people and places and opportunities and whatever. So what is this one? It says, don't try to do anything. Adjust your measurement and let the field do it. Because again, you are an observer. It is your responsibility to observe life according to your consciousness level, according to your attractor field. Okay? So whatever your attractor field is bringing into your awareness, whatever your attractor field is bringing in, however your attractor field is organizing life around you, it is your responsibility to give awareness to life from your perspective in the life that you get to live. All right? So if you want to adjust how life organizes itself around you, then you need to adjust the things that you are measuring. And you need to keep track of the things that you want to see more of. And through your attention to them, you will naturally, like the field will naturally move you in a direction and take you more in environments that allow you to take more measurement of them. There's no emotional, like the universe isn't saying to you that, oh, he's really good today, so I'm going to send him over to a really nice place today. Or he's really bad today, so I'm going to mess with his car today. That is not how it works. That is not how it works. How it works is you remembered that you really liked that you went to a ball at a nice hotel and you liked dressing up and you liked getting fancy. And you think about that, you're like, man, I had a really good time. Man, I had a really good time at that thing. Man, I had a really good, I can't wait to go to another one. Oh, turns out there's another one happening at the, just like an hour away from you. And it's happening next weekend. And you can get the time off work. You're going to go again. You know what? You had such a good time at the last one. You're going to go to another one. And then you go to that one and you have a great time. You get fancy and you go to another hotel that makes you feel good and you had a great time. And then you go away from that and you're like, man, I had such a good time at that. I loved it. And I got to go to 2 this year. I got to go to 2 so far. I got to get all fancy. I got to go to a nice hotel. It was like, the food was great. I had such a good time, man. I can't wait to go to another one. Holy crap, there's another one. And there's a friend, your friend is inviting you to go, and the ticket's free. It's happening the next, like 2 weeks from now. Oh my God, I'm going to go to another one. I'm going to go to 3 this year. I got to go to 3 fucking, events this year. I got to get all fancy and go to a nice hotel, and it was great. And you're thinking about that, and then another one pops up, and because that's what you're noticing, that's what you're paying attention to. You're totally oblivious to all the other things that are going crap wrong in your life. Your car works 95% of the time, but if all you're paying attention to is how many times it breaks down, and how many times you have to get a repair, then you're not liking your car, right? So if you want to adjust how life organizes itself around you, you have to adjust the things that you're taking measurement of. You have to adjust the things that you're keeping a score of. And don't necessarily try to do anything yourself. Let the field do it for you, because the field is way more powerful than you are. Don't try to do anything. Adjust your measurement and let the field do it. Keep score of the things you want to see more of through the law of the Heisenberg Uncertainty Principle. That is some powerful knowledge right there.